Hello everybody, a very warm welcome back to MEC-TEC. It is freezing, it's not warm at all. We are in my old mate Dan's garage. Say hello, Dan.
Hello.
Hopefully you can hear that because I've got the microphone on over here. And if you saw the video of MEC-TEC Garage 2.0, you would have seen right at the end, there was a little extra piece on the end of the video, a mini adventure going to collect this little Mini for Dan. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the corner up there so you can go back and have a look and see exactly what sort of state it was in when it was picked up, what was broken, because I had a quick walk around with it and all that sort of thing. And obviously it will give you a recap of what has happened. Today, I'm going to give you a quick walk round of the car, show you exactly what Dan has been up to since he's had it. There's been loads of little fixes and things that have been lashed together by our previous owners that were questionable, shall we say, and lots of things that were not lots of things, but quite a few little things that were not working, bad connections, bad electrics, just general waftiness. That's a good word, isn't it? Waftiness, I like that one. So yeah, we'll go have a quick walk around. I'll show you exactly what Dan's been up to. And today, the aim of the game is to get the interior stripped out. We're going to investigate the floors and the seals. We know that they have been repaired, in speech marks. Bodged is probably a better term, because we know one side's definitely full of fiberglass. And we need to go in with the grinder and the thinners and everything else and have a good look into what we need to do. Dan has got a nice new big sheet of metal that we can start making bits up for. And also we're going to be putting in the rad, the refurbished electric rad fan, which was original on the Mini SPI. It had the mechanical fan on the engine. It also had an extra electrical fan in the wheel arch, which was missing. Dan's been working on getting that sorted out, and I'll show you that as well. And we're going to get all that fitted, new set of spark plugs, oil change, get it running again, run it up to temperature with all coolant and whatever else. Dan's done an old rad flush and all that sort of thing. I'll show you that as well. There is a video clip of it, of what come out of it, and it wasn't particularly pretty. So yeah, that is all going to be in this video as well. So we've got a lot to get on with. Let's crack on, get some work done and warm up a bit, hopefully. Right, I'll start with the work in progress. As you can see, Dan's on the bench here. This is the electric fan that he managed to get. Did you get this on eBay?
No, it was someone on like one of these mini Facebook groups.
Oh, right, okay. Did that come with the rad?
Yeah, it was that, the rad, which is down there.
We've got this. This is a new rad because the rad that was in the Mini was the wrong one. And it's supposed to have a temperature sensor in the bottom like that, which obviously has got electrical connector on it, which that one has not got in it. And it's
from an earlier one, it's got nothing.
It's not in the best of condition, that one either, is it? By the looks of it, it's a bit, looks like it may have been re-cored at some point, possibly. Load of silicone all over it and all that sort of thing. Yeah, not ideal, is it? I mean, it's perfectly serviceable, it worked, but
Didn't leak, but yeah.
Yeah, so he's got
the wrong one anyway, needed the switch. So.
Yeah, so he's got the new rad with the switch in, which came with this fan, which was all in one piece, but unfortunately someone had bodged the brackets on the end of these prongs before.
Well, it's supposed to be all plastic moulded, so it's obviously got broken at some point.
What, do they come down like the shape you've made those?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha, okay.
Someone of them bodged it on with some rusty metal brackets.
Right, okay. I'll put a picture on the
line up with the holes.
Helpful. So you made this cardboard design template to make sure where the holes are in the right place. So that's pretty cool. There's obviously, look at that, look.
Put that on the inner wing, marked
Brilliant.
where the hole is.
So that shows it all in the right position. So I'll show you, I'll put a picture on the screen of what the old brackets that someone had hashed together look like on there. And as you can see, Dan's made these lovely brackets up, which bolt in. So those holes, have they been put in before?
Yeah.
By whoever did the bad brackets?
Exactly that, yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm just reusing them.
So reusing the holes with decent brackets that he's made out of a nice lump of steel. And he's painted them all with POR 15 paint. He's just drilling the holes out because where the paint's gone into the holes here made them slightly smaller for the bolts. So.
And the motor got refurbed as well.
Oh yeah.
That was all rusted up.
All rusted up in here, so you can see he's had the whole thing apart. I'll put pictures on the screen again now, showing what it looked like before. So he's had that all apart, cleaned it all up, repaired, recoated it, I should say. That's probably the best way of putting it, isn't it? With POR 15 primer and then paint. So that's all been done. What was I going to say? I was going to say something just then. Come on now. Oh, you've tested the fan as well to obviously make sure it worked, because we didn't know when he bought it, he didn't know if it worked or not, which was kind of handy. So he powered it up. I'll put maybe a little clip on the screen of that working as well, so you can see that all working. Let's have a little walk over to the car and we'll just go around it quickly. Going from the back, you can see that the fog light is currently out. And the reason for that is the backing on that fog light is broken. So Dan has actually got a new backing, as you can see there, and a new lens, but he's going to reuse the original lens because it's actually got the original reg number etched into it, and there's nothing wrong with the lens, so he's going to keep that lens and use a new backing on it. So that's sorted that problem out. There were some issues with indicators weren't working quite right, were they?
No, well, the indicator stalk was broken off for a start.
Oh yeah, the indicator stalk was broken inside, which you would have seen on the previous video.
When you put the indicators on, you then got the wrong lights coming up on the dash. You got like the headlight warning light will come on when you indicate, and
right, okay.
Various things like that. Hazards didn't work.
So there was various electrical gremlins inside the car on the dashboard with different lights coming on when they shouldn't do. So Dan has had the whole. Can I have that light, Dan? Sorry. Thanks, mate. So you've got the driver's seat out at the moment. I might as well cover that while we're talking about it. The driver's seat is out because Dan has put a new diaphragm base in the bottom of it. I'll put a picture on the screen now again showing what he's done with that because it had all sunk in the middle. So that's obviously out at the moment. We would have had to have taken that back out again to do what we're going to do today. So obviously he's left it out for that reason. He's put an original steering wheel back in it, along with the original mini sidewalk centre that he's managed to find, which is a pretty rare old thing. So he's got the original centre to go back in there, which is really cool. You can see, if you look at the old video I did, or the video we picked up, these dials were all cloudy and dirty and not very nice. And he has spent a long while taking the whole thing apart, cleaning it all up, making sure that all the electrical connections are good, and obviously putting it all back together and make sure it all works. There's a couple of new switches down there. Which switches are new? Dan, on the dash, hazard switch and the hazard switch and the headlight switch. The two on the right hand side are new switches, so they've been replaced. I think that's everything inside, isn't it? Dash, steering wheel. Oh, it's had new stalks, that's the other thing. New stalks, so we've got a new wiper stalk on there and a new indicator stalk on there, so they're both brand new, all good and working. Going around to the front, we've got a new cap on the brake reservoir, which needs to have new terminals fitted on the wiring, but that's easy enough to do. Behind the fuse box just there was a wiring connection which was completely severed. It wasn't connected to anything, and that was the power feed for the electric fan in the wing over here. He has repaired the wiring in the back of the fuse box, which feeds this relay. He's then cleaned up all that relay because that wasn't working, cleaned up all the connections on that and got that working, and he now has power to the inner wing for the electric fan. It's a bit of a random one, this. I don't know why the later ones had an electric fan as well as a mechanical fan, but they did. That's how they were made from factory, so that's what's going back. This is the wiring for the bottom of the rad you can see sitting there, and that is the plug for the electric fan that's going to go back in there today. What else have we got? Oh, there was a load of wiring down the front here for some aftermarket spotlights which had been done not very well at all. So he took all that out because didn't want the extra wiring in there to make any more sort of complicated oil fires or anything like that. So that's all been removed and cleaned up. And I think that is about it. Anything else I've forgotten?
I don't think so.
No? Oh, new wheels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, got a new nice set of mini light wheels on there. Yeah, I had the steels on it before with the dome funny dish wheel trims. You can probably see me in the reflection. There you go. So I had them on it before. So you've got a nice new set of mini lights. Another nice little Facebook find. You can see the airbox on the floor down there. That has all been worked on. It's had a new air filter element in there already. This has got a flap inside this pipe, which opens up by a vacuum, and that was all seized. So he's took all that out, freed all that up. It's also got a brand new vacuum line on the airbox, and it's also got all new vacuum lines, which you can see the red one there laying there on the top, which you've got to plug in when we put the airbox back on. And there's a black one down there as well, and I think there's a second black one as well. So they've all been replaced as well. So it's all new vacuum lines on it too, to make sure that obviously everything is working as it should do, because they was all brittle after being on the car for however many years. I'm getting out of breath because I'm talking so much. Deep breath. Didn't you do some wiring inside the wing? Under the wing? For indicators or for?
No,
or for the?
At some point because that one's a bit frayed for that indicator.
Right, the wiring in that particular wing over there is a little bit frayed. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Works, but it's
Yeah, so there's possibly some wiring to do in there. But as I said, today we're going to get the rad and the fan put back in, get all the coolant topped up, change the oil, new spark plugs. That's going to be the first job, and then we're going to gut the interior, take all the seats and carpet and everything out. We're going to get some thinners on this paint hopefully, and get all this paint that's been painted over the top taken off, because it still smells even to this day. It stinks of, I don't know how you describe that. How would you describe that paint smell? It's just a paint smell, isn't it? But I can't decipher which type of paint it is. It's not like it's a Hammerite or a POR15 or anything like that. It's just a random paint smell that doesn't seem to want to go.
It's perfectly dry. It's not like tacky or anything, but it smells like it's tacky,
yeah. It's dry. It's dry, but not. It's dry, but still smells like it's wet.
Yeah.
So we're going to get rid of all that, because that will then obviously aid us in seeing exactly what we're working with underneath, as far as. Oh yeah, let's look in the boot.
Oh, they're new as well.
Oh yeah, it's got new strings on the boot lid, because they were, one of those had snapped. It's got a new pair of those, so you can see that paint in there as well. It looks sort of the right colour, but not quite. It's not got the metallic in it, it's just a flat colour. So I don't know whether you're going to do that in the boot as well. Maybe not today, but we might clean the paint off the boot as well, so we can paint it the right colour again, get a couple of rattle cans made up the right colour and paint it.
Oh,
so
drained the old fuel out of the tank as well, didn't I?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he completely drained the fuel out the tank.
Wasn't much in it anyway, but
He's got it on the shelf there. What come out of it? You can see the colour of it in that bottle.
that was the old fuel.
Jeez, look at the colour of that. Bearing in mind that should be pretty much clear. That's yeah, not ideal. So that's all been drained out. And it's got fresh fuel in it now as well. You put that in yesterday, didn't you? Fresh fuel.
I bought it, I'm not putting it in yet.
Oh, okay. So we've got fresh fuel to go in it as well. So it's not been running it's not been running since you bought it, is it? September last year.
Yeah.
So it's not been running since September last year. So assuming we get all the rad and everything back in, and all the coolant and oil changed and everything else, it's going to be the first start up in.
And even then, it wasn't really running properly, was it?
No, it was literally to get it on the trailer, and it was a bit conking out, wasn't it? Yeah. So what's that? September, October, November, December, January. A little bit into February now, haven't we? So it's about 5 and a bit months it's not been started for. So be interesting to see what it runs like now all this work's been done. So we're going to get set up on the first job. Not sure exactly what it's going to be yet. One of the jobs I've already mentioned, and then we'll obviously come back to you and show you where we're at. Right, little cutting for you on a progress update. As you would have seen from the time lapse, I've fitted the new fog light back in with the old lens. I've also, in the meantime, managed to snap Dan's new boot lid cable. And when I say snap, the metal casting just sheared. So that's a load of rubbish. So I'm going to have to get him a new one of those. That's on YouTube now that I've got to get him a new one of those because he wouldn't let me do it otherwise.
It's only an accident, isn't it? It's just...
And you know what? Accident. Yeah, I know, but I'll still get you a new one. Right. So the wiring's all run through. You can see it coming through there. We've put protective plastic bits on these little bullet connectors because it didn't have anything on them. And we're replacing the spade terminals that had been put on the wiring previously, which weren't that great, with these proper bullet connectors with the, again, the plastic covers, so that it all seals nice and won't short out on the bodywork or anything like that. So that is absolutely marvellous. So Dan's just doing that. I'll just walk round to the front while he's doing that and show you. He's got the fan fitted in here now on the new brackets. You can see that in the wing in there. So that's all on there, bolted in with some nice stainless steel bolts. So that's done. You would have seen on the time lapse as well, the spark plugs are now all in. The old ones were really very sooty, so they were obviously worth changing. Don't know how old the old ones were, so that's done. So yeah, we are cracking through the jobs list. Once he's done this wiring on this fog light, what was the next thing you was going to do? I'll check the fan wiring, won't you, where it runs.
Yeah, where it all clicks into.
Because check where the fan wiring all clicks into. Then we're going to get the rad in. We need to change the headlight because this headlight's blown, as you can see there. It's all white, so we're going to change that headlight unit, and whilst we've got the headlight unit out, we're going to use that as a bit more access to get to the fan inside and the rad and stuff, and hopefully aid us bolting all that in. Then we're going to get the front up in the air, do the oil change, and then once we've got coolant in it, in theory we can get it running, and then we're on to interior and bodywork. So I think that's right, isn't it? It is, I think. Yeah. Done all right.
For that exhaust leak.
Oh yeah, it's got an exhaust leak somewhere underneath as well. It has got a brand new back box on it, so it's probably not the back box, but we'll have a look and obviously find out what that is too. So yeah, progressing well. Let's crack on. Right, we've got the OEM spec wiring. Look at that, absolutely lovely. Two nice crimps on there. And Dan's just going to let me just shut the boot lid. Now we know that the wiring's done in there as such. And then we can see hopefully north side lights. Yep, lovely, brilliant. There you go, that's another job off the list. Right, now we're going to go get that rad fitted, don't we? I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Top banana. Right, here we are again, happy as can be. Right, the headlight is out, as you can see, and Dan had already cut the wiring on the back of the headlight because it'd all been bodged together before by somebody else, loads of old crimps and whatever else. You can see the nice new fan in there, all done, wired in, all working, lovely jubbly. So he said, oh, I need to get some new wiring for this headlight. So he's on the laptop over here. He said, this is what I need. And then he clicked on it again, and he said, you bought this item. So he said, hang about, I bought this item. So it went over to the shelf, and sure enough, it's got two brand new wiring looms sitting on the shelf over there. So we're going to change the wiring looms on both the headlights, so they're all new. We put the new bulb in this side, and then that will all be buttoned up. It made it a bit easier fitting that fan with the headlight unit out, because we had to swap a couple of the bolts around because they were sitting a bit too close to the fan blades, so that now they've got the rounded ends on the fan side, if that makes sense, so they're nice and clear. While we've got the headlight out, I think we're going to see if we can get the rad in at the same time, because just to give us another way of accessing in there, and then we can put this new wiring through, and that should be absolutely marvellous. So we're getting on all right. It is what's time? Don't know what time it is.
12:30.
It's 12:30, so we've been going since about 9ish. So all the little jobs are buttoned up pretty much, apart from the oil change. Once we've done this headlight and whatever, we'll do the oil change and then get it running, and then we're on to cutting it apart. Let's crack on. Right, I'll just do a little cut in here to show you what is going on. We've now got the thermostat housing and the new thermostat in there, all cleaned up and fitted with 2 nice new gaskets. Top bracket is on the rad, bolted in, as you can see there. We've cleaned up both ends of the rad so that the brass is showing, or whatever copper showing through on both the bits where the hoses go onto, so it gets us a nice good seal on there. I'm just going to drain the oil next, so I'm going to put you down here and see what comes out of this, because this should be interesting. Stay there. Hold the line, caller. Dan knows what I'm talking about with that. Fools and horses mad, you should know what that line's from. Hold the line, caller, when I try to connect you. What episode? Dan's trying to think of it. It's one of 3.
Applies to his own job. It's that one, isn't it?
Yes, it's one of 3. Give you that clue.
Yeah, one of the trilogy, isn't it? I can't think which one.
Right, let's see what comes out of this while Dan's thinking about that, because I can't actually remember which one it is either, to be honest with you. I think it's Modern Man, or Modern Men. I'm not sure. Sure, you lot will tell us in the comments if we're wrong. Right, let's see what comes out of this engine. Assuming I'm doing the right plug. Oh, that's not horrendous. I don't know. Yeah, it's not horrendous. A bit dark then, but it's not horrendous.
Oh, yeah, seen worse.
Yeah. So I'm not quite like to know what's on the end of that plug. That looks a bit wafty.
What, just the washer?
No. A big lot of sludge on the end of the plug. I definitely wanted changing. Don't know how long we don't know how long that's been in there for, because obviously this is what was in it when it came, when Dan bought it. So, and the recent history of this car is slightly questionable, to say the least. So, okay. With what the previous owner was like, I'm not going to say any more than that. But it's had a few things done to it that maybe weren't quite up to scratch. No, up to our standards. No, it's got a little bit of a swirl in that, Dan. See that just going in there? It's got like a swirl in there.
What does that mean then?
Well, it's like, can you see it? Almost looks a bit. I don't think it's metal, but see the line, the white line.
Oh yeah.
Don't know, something in the oil.
Yeah.
Soon find out when.
Plug with all.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's all got stuff stuck to it. And put the new oil in it and run it up, and when it starts knocking its nuts off, then we know there's something wrong.
Yeah.
But there we go. We're going to let this get drained out. Dan's just finishing off putting on that top rad hose on there. Some nice new Jubilee clips, and then we'll hopefully get it full refilled with oil once we've got the filter changed, which I think is somewhere up there, and hopefully we'll get it running. Right, Dan's getting the ump because this air filter won't fit properly, because people have adjusted things in the past that maybe they shouldn't have done, so he's sorting that out. In the meantime, I've got the other the other front seat out. It's held on with was held on with 2 bolts going through those brackets there. It's now sitting over there on the floor. Didn't see the point in showing that because it is literally 2 nuts and bolts. So in theory, all this carpet now in here should just lift out, because obviously it's all in sections. Nothing's actually glued into this car because it's been I want to use the term worked on before loosely, but we obviously want to get all this up, because as you can see there, that is all fiberglass. So I'm going to get all this carpet out. I won't bore you with that. It's going to be pretty self-explanatory, me pulling out carpet, so I'm going to have to take those seatbelt buckles out, and then we're going to try some thinners on this paint and see if we can get all this manky paint off that's been put in here, because it absolutely stinks still even now, as I said before. And then we can hopefully see what's underneath it and go from there. So let's get that done and we'll come back to you in a minute. Right, with all the carpets out, as you can see, this is what we are greeted with. As I said, you can see There's a massive earth wire here, which God knows what that's doing, being that long and unwieldy, going to the battery at the back. You can see that whole area there in the driver's footwell is all fiberglass, and has been bodged within an inch of its life, along with that monstrosity there and that monstrosity there. So it has had a bit of work done to it. I'm going to use that term loosely because it ain't good. So I'm going to get some thinners and we're going to see, and keep our fingers crossed, that all this manky paint comes off inside here. Let me grab the thinners and a cloth and I'll see what we can do. Okay, you're propped up on the door. I'm going to get a rag, and I'm not going to mess about. I'm just going to pour some on thinners on here and see what happens, because I'm hoping it's just going to disintegrate all this paint that's on it. That's what I'm hoping. Whether it does, we'll find out. And the computer says
No.
no. Is the answer to that. Oh, it is. No, it's doing it. It's just taking a little while. Very, very slow. Very, very slow. So I'm going to basically work this for a while and see if I can get all this paint off. It may be that we have to start using the grinder and sander and stuff on it, but the thinners was worth a go. It is bringing it off the fiberglass for whatever reason, but not off of anything else, and I have no idea why. Why it would work on one thing and not another. Maybe it's just that thick that it needs to soak in. I'm going to let it soak for a while, put some more on there. Hopefully it might start eating into it with any luck. Marvellous. They do this for fun. Another Only Fools and Horses reference there for you, just in case you were wondering what I'm on about. Right, I'll just show you what I've started doing. I've actually got some rags laying on the floor with thinners soaked into them, and as you can see back there, all that horrible paint is all starting to crinkle up now, and hopefully it'll all come off. Now what it's going to reveal underneath, we don't know, but as long as we can get that horrible blue paint off the top, whatever's underneath it is what should be there, and obviously then that will reveal whatever work we need to do. Unfortunately, I've done it up there as well. You can see at the base of that seat where it ends, so we might have to take that rear back of that seat out and probably get some thinners up there as well at some point. But I'm just doing one section at a time so I don't use too many cloths, and obviously trying to keep it wet so that it just disintegrates it as such. So it's a very time consuming process this, so I'm not going to film it all, obviously. I'm just cutting it out as I've got some more progress. Right, this is where we are at the minute. As you can see, I've pretty much got the whole of the driver's side now stripped back to the original paint stroke under seal, not under seal, that's not the right word, sand deadening pads, that's what I'm trying to look for. And obviously you can see the fiberglass in that area there, along with a welded patch underneath the pedals, and also one welded patch just there, which hasn't actually been done too badly. So that bit can probably stay as it is, I would have thought, unless Dan wants to redo it. So as you can see, I've got the other side of the back footwell now soaking with the cloths with thinners in. That seems to be doing the trick as far as softening it all up and allowing me to scrape it all off and wipe it all and whatever else. So it is a long and laborious process, but it is slowly getting there. I have got to do the top of that rear seat. Unfortunately, the base where the seat base goes has been painted as well. You can see the outline of it over on that little storage bin thing on the side there where they've gone up to. You can see the colour difference. So I've got to go across all that as well. I don't know if I'm going to have enough thinners to do that. I'm just concentrating on the main part of the floor for now. So it looks like we're definitely going to need some welding on this side of the floor in that corner there. As you can see where that fiberglass is, And I dare say once we get that side over there uncovered, we're going to need to redo those 2 patches that have been done, because they are pretty manky, to be honest with you, as far as what's been done over there. So let's get round the other side. I'm going to carry on stripping this. That was a big whistle. Going to carry on stripping all this down. It is a very long and laborious process, and I have been wearing a mask, so there's been lots of thinners involved with doing this and whatever else. So just obviously, if you do anything like this, make sure you do take the precautions you need to keep your health in good stead, and all that sort of carry on. So let's crack on and get the rest of this manky paint gone. Right, we've got the interior marinating in thinners again, as you would have seen. Dan's just checking the coolant level. It's full of coolant, it's full of oil, everything's put back on. The airbox caused him nothing but grief, but it's now on there as well, which is really good. So we are going to go for a first start, and this is the first time this would have been running since September, and even in September it wasn't running well, so we're really hoping it's going to be nice and smooth and tick over nicely and all the rest of it. Don't worry about that.
Make sure it wasn't something that's leaked out.
Yeah, go on in, see what you can do.
No choke on this, is there? Injection.
Oh yeah.
Fuel pump's running.
Is it?
That's it. Right, should we go for it then?
Yeah, go on. Might want to prime it. Oh. Wow, yes, look at that. Quite sounds mint. We know it's got an exhaust leak, by the way, everybody. We've got it's a downpipe. That is superb. So we're going to let that tick over and warm up for a little while, because as I say, this is the first time this has run since September. And obviously we've got new plugs, new air filter, new oil filter, new oil, new coolant, new thermostat, new gaskets, new rad, new electric fan, loads of electrical work that's been done. So it has had a ton of work done, but it definitely didn't run that smooth when you started it before. Definitely not. It was really lumpy before, and it's got fresh fuel in it as well, which obviously makes a big difference.
Vacuum lines as well,
vacuum lines are all new, yeah, we said that earlier, yeah, so that's good. That sounds really good. Right, we're going to let this warm up, and if anything untoward happens, we'll let you know, but otherwise, hopefully, we'll be alright. Top banana. Right, it's been running for about 10 minutes now. As you can see, the idle has dropped right down. I'll show you what's come out the back of it. Look at the floor. I think it's safe to say it had a bit of junk in there it needed to get rid of. But it seems to be running absolutely lovely. The only thing we've noticed is there's a slight weak from this top hose here. That's the only thing. Dan's just nipped it up again with a socket, and it looks like it might have stopped. So we're just letting some heat get into the engine, make sure the gaskets are coming around, all that sort of thing. But on the whole, what do you reckon, Dan? Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, the little flap's closed now.
There's a valve inside there, which is vacuum operated for the heat of the engine, and it opens and closes a little flap inside the end of that pipe. It lets hot and cold air into the engine as to whether it needs it or not. That's obviously keep the engine running smooth, and that's one of the things that Dan repaired, and it's obviously been working because it's been open and closing on and off a fair bit. So oh, that's brilliant. Give it a couple of blasts. It's a bit sooty, like black smoke, but that's just from where it's been running badly for a long time, I think. It's clearing itself out. Yeah, I reckon once you take this down the road to the MOT station and back and give it a bit of a ragging.
This was the same when it was first that running.
Yeah, when we got the three-wheel van running, it was the same, yeah. That is absolutely mega, I think, for going from a non-running car in the morning to a completely running car in the afternoon, stroke evening, with a floor that's almost Stripped down inside, it absolutely stinks of thinners in there. I've had a mask on doing it. That's why I'm keeping the door shut for now, because it absolutely reeks in there. I've got that soaking, as you can see, with the rags in there at the moment. So whilst we're waiting for that to sort of do its thing, we're having a go at this. So yeah, I reckon we've done really well there.
I'll get a meter and check the alternator.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get a meter and just check that the alternator's working all right. Obviously, battery's in the boot.
Check the temperature gauge as well.
What's the temperature doing?
Just below the line. That's right.
What, below the sealer, the cold line, or the middle sort of section?
In the middle, there's like a middle line between hot and cold.
Oh yeah.
It's just below that.
Oh nice. So it's bang in the middle.
Pretty much. Yeah. Look.
What's the? Is there heat coming out of the dash anymore?
It's lukewarm. It's not brilliant.
Lukewarm. Okay. Maybe something we need to look into then. If it might need a new heater valve, just let the heat through. But
there's an airlock in there somewhere.
oh, there's an airlock. Yeah, that's what I said to Dan.
Might sort that out.
Yeah, either a run or when if he lets it cool down again and then starts it up again maybe in the morning or whatever and runs it up again, it might sort out any airlocks that it might have. So that is absolutely mega. Made a mess of Dan's garage. That'll please him. Got banana. Right, there we go. After I would say a good 3 hours of just soaking this in thinners and brake clean and thinners and brake clean, that is what we've ended up with. Now I've actually run out of thinners, which is why I've only done 1, 2, 3 sections. As you can see, the passenger front is started but nowhere near finished, so that obviously needs to carry on. Now you can see over there where that big lumpy bit of metal was, there is a plate there that is rotted out again. There is holes in it. Hopefully you can see that. There you go. So there is a big hole over there we've got to repair. There's a small little bit of corrosion on that back corner under the back of the seat there. Not a hole, but a little bit of corrosion we've got to address. And obviously we know about the fiberglass on this side. That plate there has been done really quite well, so that's okay. I think we'll probably end up leaving that. I have still got to get the thinners off the base of that seat, as you can see. Sorry, not the thinners, the paint off the base of that seat, I should say, with thinners. Haven't got to that yet. As I say, we was concentrating on the floors, and I've obviously run out of thinners, so I'm going to have another round at this. And the next round, once we've got all the manky paint off, is obviously then to start cutting out and repairing and replacing metalwork as needed. So it's going to be an ongoing little project, this one. So I think me and Dan are going to have another tech day on this fairly soon, so we can carry on with it. The engine wise, it has run absolutely perfect. Apart from an exhaust leak, which we knew about, it's been running for a good half an hour in the garage. Didn't overheat, no leaks, no oil leaks, no coolant leaks, apart from a slight weepage on that top hose that we said about before. It's been really, really good. So that is absolutely mega. I think that was a good day's work. Right then, that is going to be it for this episode on MEC-TEC. It is about 9:30 at night. We started at about 9:30 this morning, so we have been out here a good 12 hours working on the old Mini. Fog light is done. Most of the floor is thinners and all the rest of it. New or second-hand new rad is in. Electric cooling fan is in. Changed the coolant, or topped up the coolant, replaced it. Replaced the oil filter and engine oil. Spark plugs, air filter. What else have we done, Dan? Anything else I've missed? We uncovered that you had wiring looms that you didn't know you had that we can replace for the headlights. We haven't got around to the headlights yet, unfortunately. We ran out of time for that, but the headlight is still out at the moment, so Dan can obviously work on getting those little looms in. We'll get the headlights all tidied up and everything under the wing so they can be sorted out. The stereo even works in it. We've had hammering tunes, as we would say, from Kevin and Perry Go Large on the CD player, and it's got a proper sort of early 2000s CD player in it with the little screen and the car that drives past and does all the high revving and all that sort of thing. It is the nuts. It's really, really good. It proper takes me back. So yeah, we haven't finished by any stroke of imagination on this project, but we have made a lot of progress. It is all running, as I said before, up to temperature. Absolutely perfect, apart from the exhaust leak, which Dan already knew about anyway, so that's fine. So in the next episode on the Mini, you can expect more, not more of the same, but I'm going to probably finish doing all that thinners work off camera, because that is a long and laborious task, and we'll obviously get all that manky paint off inside the car as best as possible. Some of it will need sanding, but I'm going to try and get as much off as I can with the thinners to obviously keep the dust down in Dan's garage, because you know what he's like, you know, it's a clean garage, even though it's a bit of a tip at the moment where we've had stuff everywhere. I've tried to keep clean. I cleaned his floor for him where he'd been revving it up and it sprayed all the stuff out of the exhaust as I showed you earlier. I've cleaned all that anyway. So yeah, next episode we are going to be cutting out all the bits on the floor and hopefully getting some new metal welded in. That is the plan. Can't guarantee it's going to be straight away, because obviously me and Dan have got to tie up our schedules and make sure that we're both around and have another tech day on it. But hopefully we will have another one fairly soon and obviously get that hopefully on the road to recovery, so Dan can get it MOT'd and start using it this year, because that is the plan. So remember, do 4 things for me: like, subscribe, share and hit the notification bell. It's all free, it costs you absolutely nothing. Little button down there, bright red, you cannot miss it. It really helps me out on the channel, I really do appreciate it. Remember, I've got Instagram, MEC_TEC 1985, and I have got Facebook as well, MEC-TEC, for little sneak peeks during the week of what I'm up to. If you like this video, make sure you tell all your friends about it. Make sure they click on the old link and subscribe and thumbs up and all the rest of it as well. That would be absolutely mega. I'm at just over 3,500 subscribers now, so I do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you very much for getting me over that mark. It's only small potatoes in, is that the right saying? Small potatoes? In the YouTube world. I don't know, whatever you want to say. Anyways, I know I'm only a small channel, but obviously if I can keep it growing, that would be absolutely superb. All that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and if you want to join me soon and Dan for more automotive adventures, I will see you again next time. Cheers guys.